Andrew Tate may be more evil than we once thought, but hear me out. I don't mean that in the way that you're probably thinking, so you'll want to stick around to the end to hear me out on this one. As I'm sure you've already heard, Andrew Tate was recently arrested on numerous charges. After he was arrested, there's a tweet that was posted on his account implying that the Matrix had finally got him. And lots of people rushed to his defense to say that he was innocent and that the only reason that the charges were brought against him was because he was exposing the government or the Matrix.
I have talked to Andrew Tate's lawyer. I've got the inside scoop on what's really going on. I can tell you that it's completely, absolutely, totally made up. So I know his MO. He was not trafficking women, all this crap. They know how to come after us for the things that we've been exposing that they've been doing with the deep state, with children and everything else.
They keep revealing private conversations that Andrew Tate has had with women. I guess that's supposed to be the media's form of evidentiary support to the idea that he's a rapist. And I have to believe, because of how public of a figure that Andrew Tate has been, because of how honest he has been about his expectations in relationships and in his views of the women that he is with, or what he would do in a scenario if he was dating a girl that did this or that, that the women that were messaging Andrew Tate, engaging in conversations with Andrew Tate on the internet, on Instagram, via direct messaging, knew what they were getting into. And we need to stop being so sloppy when we say that people are rapists, and we need to accept the fact that there are a lot of women that have this fetish.
And even some Twitter users posted saying that they know Tate personally and that he's really not as bad of a guy as the public makes him out to be. But new evidence was made public that suggests that Tate might not be as innocent as we once thought that he was, and maybe far more sinister. Apparently, a Romanian prosecutor released some evidence that they have against Tate, and it doesn't look good. So last week, Tate was trying to get out of jail on bond, but was denied because of videos that he posted on social media about how he could flee the country if he ever got in trouble.
If I fuck up and England wants me in jail, I can fly on a Nigerian passport, or an American, or an English, or a Polish, or an Estonian. I have so many passports. What, are you going to block them all?
Oh no, not a court in Romania. Internationally respected Romanian courts. Put me in jail.
Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I have committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away?
And in one of his teaching videos, he seems to admit to not paying taxes.
Another reason we use Chatterbait is because they will pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit that's going on. You've all seen the legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult. The last 6 months, Chatterbait have released a Bitcoin option, so they'll pay you in Bitcoin.
And in that same video, he also talked about how he scams women that work for him out of thousands of dollars each month.
Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin, so you don't need to pay tax to anybody. Tell your girl that you're paying the tax, because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them 3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, we get to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50, the difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you, they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I see this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here and sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Ooh, okay, and they just sign away. They don't know what the signing. I'll throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real is happening. Nothing's happening except me get rich.
Now, there's a ton of other evidence that Tate posted publicly that's being used against him in court, but not all of it was made public. He was also apparently wiretapped, and in a phone call with a woman, he admitted to using his business to launder dirty money. He says, "You're not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing." And she says, "Webcam?" And he responds by saying, "For a long time I did this with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money. Some of the girls who worked for me, I used them to do other things, to move money or illegal things, documents, etc." Now, who knows how much of this is true? He could either be a criminal or he could just be lying. But at any rate, it's not a good look. There also seems to be other footage and other recordings of him seemingly admitting to trafficking women and holding them against their will.
All over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out.
They're not allowed out. No. You don't go to the club with your friends. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. No restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
Andrew tells the victim not to leave the house without one of the 3 trusted employees, following and watching her, making a clear threat despite the victim pleading that she wants to leave the house alone. Why are you so cold with me? Don't go out alone without telling me. Mall, supermarket, nowhere from now on. I told you I want to go alone. It's the last warning.
One of the things that I was trying to comment on is that there's a treasure trove of stuff that he's put out there to show that he is probably guilty of the crimes that they're talking about. And all the stuff that he's put out there can be used against him, not taken out of context. So what is he charged with? He's charged with sex trafficking. And
Tate's angels, meaning the bottom, the 2 women, these are the women who work for him, the Ghislaine Maxwells. If you don't make money, we're going to have a problem. Punch yourself in the mouth until I arrive, because then I'll give you another 10, you incurable slacker. And the other girl says, I'll break you when I get there. And the victim says, what did I do? So you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to disappear. And the victim says, but what did I do? You're down 20%, 4 days since you posted. And she says, if Andrew looks to see you if you posted TikToks, you won't even have time to pack. You're flying off the balcony straight away.
Now, of course, all of this doesn't necessarily mean that he's guilty of all or even any of the crimes that he's been charged with, although he sure does seem to be admitting guilt in these videos. But we still haven't heard his defense, so we'll just have to wait to see what happens in court. But this whole situation made me think more about how when we hear about people getting in trouble that we like or people that we consider to be on our team, our natural instinct is to jump to their defense before we even stop to consider the full scope of the evidence. We have a version of them in our heads that make us think that they couldn't possibly be guilty of the things that they're accused of, and they couldn't possibly be as evil as they're accused of being. We assume that there has to be some sort of conspiracy going on. But for the sake of this point, let's just go ahead and say that the evidence against Tate is actually what it seems to be on the surface. Well, in that case, we could have easily missed Tate's potential to do these incredibly self-serving and evil things at the expense of others. And the reason why we miss those things is because we even miss our own potential to do incredibly self-serving and evil things as well. Even though it might be shocking to think that Tate could be more evil than we possibly thought, what's even more shocking is the fact that the same can be said for every single one of us. Having a lot of money isn't a bad thing, of course, but being rich can easily exacerbate what's already inside of us. If we had access to the same amount of resources that Tate does, I think that most of us would be really shocked to find out the things that we're capable of doing. In reality, our hearts are far more dark and evil than we could ever possibly imagine. But the good news is the love and acceptance that God has for us is far more deep and profound than we could ever possibly imagine. But if that doesn't make sense to you, then go ahead and click here, and the next time that you're too quick to defend someone, it's okay. Just take a step back and ask yourself, what do you mean?